Proud and honored to speak in front of you today when we are celebrating 154th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. This Hindu monk actually taken up the struggle to globalize Hinduism, and across the globe nowadays we find people following his philosophies and teachings. Now, as per the followers of Vivekananda, we can't say that there is any specific category or we can categorize the followers. We have from every hooks and corners of the world who is following him. Even today, our Prime Minister or the President and Anna Hazare, the social workers, and the list goes on. In one of the address of President Barack Obama on 10th of November 2012, he said that whenever I found myself in a difficult situation, I preferred to read the books of Swamiji. That's the charm and the essence of his personality. At that time also, he was the leader, and nowadays also, he is the pathfinder or the torch bearer for all of us. The credit, the legacy to take forward his preaching and teaching was actually done by the government of India when in 1984 they declared to celebrate 12th January as Youth Day. And from 1985 it is following the same things. Now in the statement of Indian governments, I quote the line, "The philosophy of Swamiji and the idea for which he lived and worked would be a great source of inspiration for the youth of India." Unquote. So do we really, the present generations, the need is that first of all we have to know the life and the teaching of Swamiji, and then only he can motivate us. How can we? The present, it is a big question in front of us, that the basic teachings of a person who is ruling the world, we can say, with his philosophy, is there is a huge silence among the youth of our country. I think so. That's the motto of celebrating this purpose. Now, what I personally feel that to present the life and the teaching of Swamiji seems to me a next to impossible work, but then also I have tried to bring a glass of water in front of you from the ocean named as Swami Vivekananda. My presentation starts from here. Swamiji was born on 12 January 1863 and he left us on 4th of July 1902. That means a brief life as a youth he left us with a mass, huge books and collections of his teaching. As per family, sir, I can have that. But Swamiji's real name was Narendranath Dutt, and his father called him, or his parents called him Bile as his nickname. His father, he actually belonged to a very rich family. His father, Biswanath Dutt, was a successful attorney, and his mother, Bhuvaneshwari Devi, was a religious person. They are their biological mother. But whenever this question was asked to Swamiji about his mother and father, he used to introduce himself as the son of Mother India. As a child, Narendra was very lively and naughty. So whenever you do something naughty, don't be discouraged, because if you are following him, you have to be naughty somewhere. But I give you an example of his naughtiness, that once it so happened कि all the neighbors जो लोग रहते थे, they used to complain to his mother that ये नरेंद्र what he is doing in the afternoon, he used to दूसरे के आम के पेड़ रहते कुछ फल होते थे, तो he used to go and pick up all those things. माँ बोल बोल के थक गई, but he used not to listen. He, along with the group, he used to do the same thing repeatedly. That was one day उसकी माँ ने क्या सोची, I have to lock it him. तो उन्होंने उसको लॉक कर दिया एक रूम में. And after 2 and 3 hours when her mother came, when his गरीबों में बांटना शुरू कर दिया from the window. रास्ते से जो भी जा रहे थे उनको बुला बुला के गरीब दिख रहे थे, अलमारी खोल के पूरे कपड़े उन्होंने बांट दिए थे. but उनके लिए excuse था, देखो क्या है, he was good in studies as well as in games. And he studied instrumental vocal music and also practiced meditation from a very early age. Okay? So as per the childhood also, उसका child भी, उनके child भी हमके लिए inspiration है. In 19, after his matriculation, he entered in the Presidency College. Then after there, he joined Scottish Church College. He studied Western logic, Western philosophy, history of European nations. As he advanced in his studies, his thinking faculty actually developed. From here, we be of world religion. This is the photo of Ramakrishna Paramhans. He was the direct disciple. And then anywhere times when someone asked Swamiji, ki we don't know about Ramakrishna Paramhans and that is your guru, let us know few things about him. He stopped with a silence and then said, what can I tell about him? He is the person who can create hundreds and thousands of Vivekananda within fraction of seconds. So that's the greatness, that's the power of my Guru. Now after passing of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahans, the disciples who were the direct disciples of Ramakrishna, they were looking for leaders. So they looked towards Narendra, and in this way they all in 1887, they took the formal vow of disciples of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahans, and they all spread themselves throughout the country to know the length and breadth of India, the culture, the people, the lifestyle, the foods and whatnot. During his travel all over the country, Vivekananda was deeply hurt to see the poverty and backwardness of the countrymen. These particular things that knocked his head and heart, we can say. And so he took a decision that the first of all, we should not needy people. So this is the picture of Ramakrishna Mission of Belur Math at Calcutta. Now students, one thing is to be knowing of the piece of land till the architecture. You can look at the design of it. Everything was done by Swami Vivekananda. So he was a master of all the things. You can say that from architecture, knowledge of science, arts, commerce and philosophy. Swami Vivekananda had an idea of starting similar organization for women. Whenever nowadays we are speaking about the term of feminist, that people are working for the women gender, but we find that he was the first person among 19th century when he spoke widely against that to start an organization for the women by the women. In one of his letter he said, it's my first endeavor is to start a mart for women independently. That's the most important thing over here. He debated passionately in favor of education and liberation of women. Educate your women first and leave them to themselves. Whenever people is to talk about any inferior things or the supports for the women gender, he came out with the lines that women will work out their own destinies much better too than man can ever do for them. Who are you? The idea, according to Swamiji, the idea of perfect womanhood is perfect independence. Give them freedom, let them decide what they want, and they will be far better than if it is planned by the male gender. Swami Vivekananda, we find that they used to enjoy equal, gender equality was there. But when there is missing this thing, then the downfall of a country started. He believed that the life and message of Holy Mother Sarada Devi had a great significance for the upliftment of women. This is a picture, portrait of Sarada, whom Swamiji used to follow. Swamiji's wish came to be fulfilled nearly half a century later. In August 1959, Sarada Math and mission was established. Both the institute carry on spiritual, cultural, educational, medical and charitable activities among women and children. The point to be noted here, over here is that this trust, Sarada Math and mission is completely governed by the women, and we have the doctors, all the sannyasinis, they took care of all these things. They are the doctors, they are the educationists, they are the IT past professionals, and we have those in the mission. This is the Sarda mud near the bank of Ganga. We have another picture also. It's going to show that. Yes, this is, and the constructions, the image, the structure is already, it was drawn. However, for now, this is a turning point that why he is actually a modern person, as we can say. That, however, for Vivekananda, personal liberalization was not enough. Earlier to him, the sannyasis, what they used to do, they used to, for personal freedom, they used to go to the forest, they meditate over there, and they used to declare that we have nothing to do for the society, or we don't have any concern, or we can say they try to maintain a distance. इसमें हम इस झमेले में हम नहीं है, संसार या संसार के साथ हमारा रिलेशन नहीं थे. But what Swamiji, he has changed the definition. He says that if you are a selfishless person, that means it is your first responsibility that you have to work for the society. His heart act for the downtrodden masses of India who suffered poverty and many hardships. So what he says, the line, where can we go to find God if we cannot see him in our own heart and in every living being? So that's the changing, that's the turning point definition of, he used to say that शिव का जो ज्ञान है, जीव में ही शिव पूजा हम कर सकते हैं. And so that's the turning point and the definition of sannyasi in the Indian society. So these are the few pictures, clippings we are now going to see, which pained Swamiji so much. I think so it is going to bring out the same feeling inside our heart too. And so we can decide what's the future responsibility we are having for these masses. So whenever we used to, certainly, इन सभी में उनको भगवान दिखते थे, तो उनका कहना था कि मंदिर में पूजा करने से ज़्यादा जरूरी है, we should go out and find that to whom we can do our pujas. To work for the needy people is puja for Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda felt that the highest idea was to serve God through serving humanity. उनसे पूछा गया था कि आप क्या पूजा करते हो, क्या है आपका डेली रूटीन, तो बोलते मैं उस भगवान की पूजा करता हूँ जिसे अज्ञानी लोग मनुष्य कहते हैं. Thus Vivekananda would later add social work as an important element of Ramakrishna order. So what he has made, he made compulsory that if you want to join Ramakrishna mission or the sannyasis or the sannyasas, whatever, so you have to work for the needy people. Even the sannyasis over there, they work, and then once it is in the story we find that Swami Vivekananda asked the sannyasis that why don't you go to England and why don't you go to foreign countries, take some few Banarasi saris, stitch gown for them, then you can at the same time you can give them the things that we are having in India, and you can earn some money for my needy people. And he used to send the sannyasis. So nowadays we do know that the sannyasis, they have to perform work, and then based on that work they get their foods. This is that they alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive. This is the line. So Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission relief work is the prime work that they perform or do. This is a clipping where we find that Swamiji is distributing clothes to the needy people over there during Durga Puja. Actually it happens. Now over here I have to quote one thing, that in Ramakrishna mission is that you can't ask the person's religion, caste or creed before doing the service. He is a needy, that's the thing that defines that he is the God, that religion. This monk, we are in depth to this monk to bring out this particular. So I have a guessing that you all must be knowing that in Chicago was the things where he made Hinduism a proud religion. Please. Yes, now few clippings for that particular things we should know that at the opening ceremony we have to know that Vivekananda religion. Okay, Hinduism we can say over here. Now one thing you should, whenever you go to the Ramakrishna mission, maybe in Nagpur, anywhere in the world, throughout the world we are having Ramakrishna mission, you will at the top you will find that the dome, above the dome, there is, you will find the religion symbols of all the religion. This is the only one organizations where we find the religious symbols of all the religions, maybe Hinduism, Christianity, Buddhist. Say, stood up to an applause which lasted for full 2 minutes. So that was the impact over here. But over there we can see that this feminist, the thing culture is even there. He said sisters and brothers of America. The sisters comes first and then the brothers of an Indian society. Everybody was, as it is in the books, it is known to us that every people was eager to have a click with Swamiji. And the souvenir that was there published, that was the message all religion, and they concluded with the words of Swamiji, that even today that the souvenir that was published over there, it shows that it was with the signature of Swami Vivekananda. It has shown that every religion can make a stand in the world of thought and has set people to think that the Lord is working everywhere. So his concluding remark, I am proud to belong to a religion which believes not only in universal tolerance, but we accept all religion as true. Of Swami Vivekananda. It was said that throughout the conference, undoubtedly the organization would say Vivekananda to the end to make sure the audience would stay to listen. That was the impact of the person, and it is known to all of us that people used to gather. अगर वहाँ पर 7,000 का था रहता तो ticket 16,000 से भी ज़्यादा सर. People used to say that we are just, they used to उन्होंने दीवार पे कान लगा के खड़े रहते थे कि we can listen it, just you have to raise the volume and we are supposed to listen what he is saying over there. Now I want each of my children to be 100 times greater than I could ever be. So that's the trust, that's the faith he has with the youth of India. He used to say that give me 100 youth whose backbone is as strong as steel and heart melts with a cry of a single person. And if you can give me those things, I'm going to change the basic structure of the society within 100 days. Now, don't think that. Believe yourself as brave as God. The greatest sin is to think yourself weak. In a conflict between the heart and the brain, follow your heart. Generally, what we do, we calculate the things, the positive, negative things, we take profit and the loss matters. So Swamiji is saying, drop that thing and be a human being first. Anything that makes you weak, I means that anything strengthens. Anything that makes you weak physically, intellectually, and spiritually, reject it as poison. Okay, whenever you find that there is two different thoughts in our mind is going on, run away or attend the seminar. Which one we have to select?
Attend the seminar.
That's the thing. Whichever things it makes you weak, at least these people, if we are going to get some guidance from these words, we can say that this is the true tributes to the person, to Swamiji.